Hey guys. Alright, so in this video, I want you to have your note packet out, the one we started yesterday. As you can see here, this is page 1. This is what we did yesterday in class. So keep flipping back and forth to this page if you need to. It's got all your information about how to do each step, alright, what diverge and converge means, how to find it, and then especially this step 3, how to find the horizontal asymptote. Okay, so in the video we're going to do problem 2. So if you want to flip to page 2 for problem 2, we're going to do that together. And then after the video, I want you to, in this packet, try 5 and 7. Okay, that'll just be the homework. There won't be any homework in the green packet tonight. Just do 5 and 7 in this packet after you've done number 2 with the video. Okay, all 3 are similar type of problems. Okay, so here's problem 2. It's going to start the same way. All right, we're going to find our x-intercepts. And remember, the x-intercepts are going to come from the top, from the numerator. Okay, so all I'm going to do is set the numerator equal to 0. So I say, all right, the numerator is x minus 2. So x minus 2 equals 0. Add 2 to both sides, so that means x equals 2. Okay, these are x-intercepts, so I have to write it like a point. So I'm going to write the point 2, 0. Right, now, to decide if it bounces or crosses, I need to look at the exponent. Well, it doesn't have, we need some parentheses around there. And if I put those parentheses, the exponent would be 1, which is odd. All right, and odd means we're going to cross. So I'm going to write it like this, odd, cross. Okay. That's it on top, so there is no second 0, so you can cross that off. The next step here is to find the vertical asymptotes. The zeros come from the top, the VAs, the vertical asymptotes, they come from the bottom, the denominator. Okay, same process though. I'm going to set those factors equal to 0. So I'm going to write x minus 4 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0. That means x would equal 4 and x would equal negative 2. And for these, it's not a point, it's a line. So we actually use that equation. X equals 4 and x equals negative 2. Okay, now if you flip back a page, look at problem number 1 and all that, the notes we took about diverging and converging. Remember, the rules are the same as bouncing and cross. Okay, diverge is if the exponent is odd, and converge is if the exponent is even. So we're looking specifically at the x minus 4 and the x plus 2. Both of those have odd exponents, so both of those are going to diverge. Okay. So far so good. We move on to step 3 now. Okay. My horizontal asymptote. This is where we have to write on the side here, we go dt for degree top, and we go dB for degree bottom. dt degree top. So I go look at my numerator, x minus 2 to the first. Count up those x's. There's 1. So the degree of the top is 1. Oops, came back. The degree of the top is 1, and the degree of the bottom, there's an x to the first, there's an x to the first, so 1 plus 1 is 2. The degree of the bottom is 2. Okay. And if you remember back on our previous page, the rule was if the degree of the top is smaller, then automatically I get y equals 0 as the horizontal asymptote. Almost done here. Y-intercept. Rule for y-intercept, plug in 0. Okay, so I'm going to do this off to the right here where I have a little bit more room. Okay, every x I see in the equation needs to have a 0 in instead. So the top is going to become 0 minus 2. The bottom, let's see, is going to become 0 minus 4 and 0 plus 2. 0 minus 4 and 0 plus 2. Well, let's see. The top is negative 2, and the bottom becomes negative 4 times 2. We multiply. So it's negative 2 over negative 8, which is positive 1/4. So my y-intercept is the point, always a point, 0, 1/4. 0 because we plugged in 0 for x, and 1/4 is what we got when we did the math. Okay? Domain, easiest part. Whatever your asymptotes are, we say x can't equal that. So there's two of them this time, so we say x can't be negative 2, comma 4. Those are the two values x is not allowed to be. Because what happens is if we plug those two numbers in, we get 0 on the bottom, and you can never divide by 0. Alright, we're good to go now. Now we can graph everything. So we start with the zeros, the x-intercepts. This is 0 at 2, comma 0. So I'm going to plug that in. So we go up here, and the 0 is at 2. Put that point down. Now we check our vertical asymptotes. There are vertical asymptotes at 4 and negative 2. So I'm going to draw a dotted line at 4 and negative 2. So I go to 4 for x, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I make a vertical asymptote, this dotted line from top to bottom. And negative 2 is the other one, so I go to negative 2 and make my vertical dotted line. Alright, so that's going to divide our graph into 3 sections here. Okay. When I draw those, I want to write whether they diverge or converge. Okay, both of those diverge, so above it I'm going to go div and div, just to remind myself. Okay, the graph is going to diverge there. For the horizontal asymptote, it was y equals 0, so that's like this. Okay, there's my horizontal asymptote. And finally, we had the y-intercept of positive 1/4. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little dot right above 0 there. I'm going to zoom in so I can do a better job of this. Kind of estimate. There's my y-intercept of 1/4. Okay. Now, here's kind of the new part. This graphing this looks a little different than graphing the one we did yesterday does. All right. Notice we have 2 points. If you have 2 points and there's not an asymptote blocking, right? You can never cross an asymptote. Okay, but the 2 points we can connect. Okay. Just like that. Real simple. We're going to connect them. Now I want to keep moving to the right. All right. So I'm thinking this graph has to keep moving to the right. At the x-intercept, according to our chart up above, this is going to cross, okay, because my exponent was odd. So it's going to cross. So my graph right now is above, so as I go to the right, it has to go below the x-axis, because it's got to cross, right? And as it does that, it's going to run into this asymptote, so it's got to just kind of ride the asymptote down. So my first section is going to look like this, okay? Now, go back to the y-intercept. From there, I need to go to the left, okay? Because this section here goes to the left. I don't have another x-intercept to cross at, so I have to go up. And I'm just going to ride the asymptote up. So I kind of get this curvy shape in the middle section here. All right. Now, I'm going to have 2 more sections. I've got the left, the middle, which I already drew, and the right. The key to getting those last 2 sections is that the graph diverges. Okay? So on both sides of the asymptote, the left and the right, the graph is going to be going in opposite directions. So on the right side, we already have it. It's going up, which means on the left side, the graph has to go down. So what we're going to get here, it's always going to ride the asymptotes, Okay, out to the left and down. We're going to get this kind of L shape in the lower left. So I'm going to graph like this. Notice at the asymptote, the graph diverges. Alright, so just copy this little graph down. Finally, I've got to get my right section. Same thing, I'm going to use the fact that the asymptote diverges. Alright, so it's got to be going opposite directions on the left side and the right side. So on the left side, the graph goes down. So when I jump over to the right side, it's got to be at the top. It's got to diverge. Okay, so I'm going to draw another L shape up in the top right. And that's it. That's our graph. Okay. So what I want you to do is try out number 5 and number 7 in the packet. Just do your best on those. I will be back tomorrow. We'll go over these and we'll keep practicing. That's really the key to these problems, is that you got to keep practicing them and you got to see what they look like. Okay. So thanks for watching and see you tomorrow.